What it do, family? Brother Judah Israel, one time. I'd like to give honor to our Father Yahuwah, Elohim Almighty, the Ruach HaKodesh, and our Messiah, Yahushua HaMashiach. Now, family, not going to be too long. Somebody made a comment on one of my posts asking me a question. He says something like this. He say, I'm a black man. Why do you Hebrew Israelites always read from the Apocrypha? Me, myself, I read from the Old Testament. And he says some stuff like this. You know, my first thought was like, wow, he's really naive and not seasoned. You know, but when I was, you know, new into the word and curious. And so after I had been in the word for quite a while, you know, when I was in Sunday churches from 1999 all the way up to 2017 or something, when I got on Facebook and I saw that it was a whole lot of our people, you know that we are the Hebrew Israelites. I knew this way back in 1980 when I heard an audible voice spoke to me when I was 16 years old. So I knew back then, so I thought I was the only one who knew, because everybody that I would talk to about it back then in Indiana, nobody knew what I was talking about. So I just left it alone, but I kept it to myself inside. And then so in 2017, I started realizing other people on Facebook across the country and the world was aware of this also. So I started befriending some of them and learning more about it because they was more seasoned than me. So I never doubted what they was doing. I was kind of like more curious and I wanted more. So I was like reading posts on Facebook back then. It was like, I was like, what's this Esdras and the Book of Wisdom? You know, I was like, that's not in the Bible. That's not in the 66. And so somebody was telling me about, you know, the Apocrypha. It was a part of the original Bible, but while we fell under the curses and we was, you know, at the tail, during that time, our oppressors, you know, they got hold to our material because all the spiritual knowledge of Yah's word was written by Hebrew Israelites inspired by the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit. Okay, so all of the material Yah gave to our people to write, it was for Israel. Okay, so when we fell under the curses, our oppressors, the Roman Catholics, they got hold to our stuff and they took the Apocrypha, 14 books from the Holy Bible. And even the book of Enoch, I found out later, was a part of the Holy Bible, but they took that out. And so I ordered me an Apocrypha and I started reading and studying, and I was like, wow, this coincides with the 66. But it's, you know, it's just more spiritual knowledge. So this guy who commented on my post was asking me in a doubting way, you know, I'm a black man, he said, why do you Hebrew Israelites always reading out of the Apocrypha? You know, he want us to just stay in the 66, but that's what our oppressors want us to do. They don't want us to learn how to get closer to our power, and that would be the Most High Yah. Okay, so I start familiarizing myself with the Apocrypha, and I got one right here. I've read it at least 4 times from cover to cover since I bought it in 2017, I believe it was. And so he asked me, why do we always read out of the Apocrypha? So I'm about to share something right now from the Apocrypha. It's the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 13, verse 38 to 45. And Esdras was from the bloodline of Moses' brother Aaron. So he was a Hebrew just as much as Joshua or Moses or any other Hebrew. So he was a priest and a prophet. So he was having a conversation with the Most High here. And I'm going to start, I said, 38. I said chapter 38. No, that's something I'll be reading from my... That's something I'll be reading from my message that I'll be doing when I get off work today. So this is also in 2nd Esdras, but chapter 14, verse 34 to 48. 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, verse 34 to 48. Okay, now the conversation had been going on, but I'm going to just start right here. It says, therefore, if so be that you will subdue your own understanding and reform your hearts, ye shall be kept alive, and after death ye shall obtain mercy. For after death shall the judgment come, when we shall live again, and then shall the names of the righteous be manifest, and the works of the ungodly shall be declared. Let no man therefore come unto me now, nor seek me after these 40 days. So I took the 5 men as he commanded me, and we went into the field and remained there. And the next day, behold, a voice called me, saying, Esdras, open thy mouth and drink, that I give thee to drink. Then opened I my mouth, and behold, he reached me a full cup, which was full, as it were, with water, but the color of it was like fire. And I looked, and I took it, and drank. And when I had drunk of it, my heart uttered understanding, and wisdom grew in my breast, for my spirit strengthened my memory, and my mouth was open and shut no more. The highest gave understanding unto the 5 men, and they wrote the wonderful visions of the night that were told, which they knew not. And they sat 40 days, and they wrote in the day, and at night they ate bread. As for me, I spake in the day, and held not my tongue by night. In 40 days they wrote 204 books. And it came to pass, when the 40 days were fulfilled, that the highest spake, saying, the first that thou hast written, publish openly, that the worthy and unworthy may read it. That would be the Bible. Okay, but keep the 70 last, that thou mayest deliver them only to such as be wise among the people. For in them is the spring of understanding, the fountains of wisdom, and the stream of knowledge. And I did so. So if there's anybody else out there who was curious about why we Hebrew Israelites read more than just the 66, there's a clear answer right there. Okay? The Roman Catholics took these 14 books that are in the Apocrypha out of the original Bible. Why would they be hiding stuff? Because they didn't want us finding out the knowledge, how to stay connected to our Father. Okay, now before this conversation started right here on the other page, Esdras was having this conversation with Adonai, and you know, he was really eager, because he said, now Israel had been at war with some people, and some people had burned up a lot of the books and stuff. So Esdras is saying, how will the people who come after learn, because the books are all burnt? And then that's when the Most High told him to go get these 5 other men, and they're named here: Syria, Dabria, Selemia, Akanus, and Asiel, these 5 which are ready to write swiftly. So a lot of our books have been burned up, and so Yah had told Esdras to gather these 5 men who were ready to write, and he gave them wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to write, and they wrote for 40 days, and they wrote 204 other books. Okay, so a lot of stuff was hidden, you know, while we were under the curses. But our oppressors, they found different scrolls and stuff like that, and they read it, and they knew it was about the word being connected from our Father to his people, the Israelites. So they took a lot of stuff and hid it, you know what I'm saying, and kept it from us to keep us from our power. But in these end time days, our Father has made it possible for us to get a lot of this material back. Okay, so if you want to grow spiritually, you hear what the word said, that give this one book to the learned and the unlearned, or the worthy and the unworthy, the Bible. But the rest of them, they are for the wise. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to expand your spiritual knowledge of the things of Yah, it's good to seek other knowledge in these books. Okay, they're holy books just like the Bible is. And Matter of fact, as I was reading the Old Testament, I read the Bible from cover to cover, many times. And, as you read it more and more, it seemed like something that you didn't come across before jump out at you. So I started realizing, like, okay, they were conversating. It's okay. This could be found in the annals of the book of Jubilees. I said, well, so the Bible is making references to other books. This could be found in the references of the books of the kings. This could be found in the annals of the books of Jasher. This could be found in the annals of the books of the kings. This could be found in the annals of the book of Jubilees. So I'm like, wow, the Bible is pointing us to other holy books. Because it'll start on a conversation somewhere in the Old Testament, and then it said this could be found, the rest of this, it is saying, could be found in the annals of the books of the Jubilee. I'm like, whoa. So I started ordering books. This is way back in like 2018. I've seen some other Hebrews teaching on YouTube, and they was teaching out of the book of Enoch. And like I said, I knew we were Hebrew Israelites, but I didn't know anything about these other books. And I'm like, wow. So I ordered me a book of Enoch. And so, praise God, I started reading and studying, and, not to just keep it to myself, to share with the rest of our Hebrew family throughout the world. And I wasn't even on YouTube back then. I didn't even know how to get on. I was on YouTube first in 2017, but I didn't know how to, record and stuff like that. And so, I was curious because, looking at other brothers who was teaching, that had YouTube channels, it was inspiring me, giving me inspiration. So I was like, wow, I got something to say. I want to tell people that I heard an audible voice. So what I did, when I was on Facebook back then, this was 2019, and I got about 5,000 friends. That's the most you can get. So I was trying to get all the friends I could. And so what I had in my mind was that, I'm going to befriend all these people that I don't even know. I'm just going to start being kind to them, mostly our people, because we're the ones we're the only ones don't know who we are. So I started saying positive stuff on their posts and stuff like that. And so just to get their attention. And then, after a while, I made a post and on Facebook on the news feed. I said, everybody, I have something to share. And, and it's about an audible voice I heard when I was 16 years old. And my question to the voice was, why did our people come to America as slaves? At that time, I didn't know, our people had not only just come to America as slaves, but we were scattered throughout all the world. I didn't know that at the time. You know what I'm saying? I thought we had came to America as slaves, but I found out later, no, those slave ships went all the way down to South America, all the Caribbean islands, Central America, all the countries in Europe, Canada. I was like, whoa, I just found that out. So I'm like, wow. And a lot of our people don't know why that happened. But I knew what happened because the Spirit spoke to me in 1983 and told me where to read. And so I'm like, wow, I need to share this with our people. At least they'll know who we are. So like I said, when I got on Facebook in 2017, and I started seeing a lot of our people knew the information that we are Yah's chosen people, the Hebrew Israelites. So that's how it started. And then I ended up getting on YouTube, and I shared, I heard an audible voice. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how it started. But other Hebrew Israelites who were already aware of who we are as a people had already been really deep off into it. And so I learned from them. And so that's how it started. And so I was inspired, and I wanted to wake up more of our people. And so I started me a YouTube channel, and so that's how it began, being inspired by other Hebrew brothers and Hebrew sisters, you know what I'm saying, using the Hebrew language and stuff like that. And so I just wanted to share these scriptures out of the book of Esdras, out of the Apocrypha, which was originally part of the Bible before the Roman Catholics. They had no authority, but they did it upon them. They took it upon themselves, to hide a lot of our stuff. to keep us from our power, because they knew we have a rich history. They knew we were Yah's chosen people. All the nations who took part in the sub-Saharan slave trade and the transatlantic slave trade, they all knew that we were Yah's people, and we had messed up with him, and he had cursed us, and he had scattered us among all our enemies, all these nations. And we're still in these lands today. But at least our curses has ended, and he's waking his people back up. And this is going to continue, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so anyway, I hope that helps anybody who had a curiosity of why we Hebrew Israelites read out of the Apocrypha and not just stick to the 66, because Yah gave us plenty books, and they are out there. If you're curious, you're interested, you know, they're not hard to get. You can download the Amazon app and go from there. That's what I did. So anyway, family, I have a very important message that I want to share this afternoon when I get off work. I get off at 2:15. So I got all the scriptures already that I'm going to be reading. So I just got to get myself together, and then I'll record it, and then I'll post it later on this afternoon. Okay, so stay tuned for that. And it is entitled, Who Are the Israelites and Where Are They? Somebody asked me a question I saw on one of my posts this morning. He was asking me, some people say they're the Israelites, but they're in this country. Some people say they're in that Israelites and they're in that country. So how can we all be Israelites and we all spread it out like that? I say, hey, the answers you're looking for will be in the message that I will be sharing later on this afternoon when I get off work. So y'all, please stay tuned. Okay? One love, and shalom.